Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome into the Polarr Next live stream for February 2025. My name is Aaron Hara and my camera. Oh, there we go. What's up, everyone? Welcome into the February 2025 live workshop with Polarr Next. We've got Jonathan in the chat there. If you have any questions at all, need directions to our Facebook group or to our TikTok page or Instagram, if you need any help with anything, Jonathan is there in the chat to help guide you and direct you, answer any questions in case I miss it as we do our live stream today. So again, the purpose of these workshops is to be able to get to know you a little bit more, to be able to be live with you, answer any questions, guide you through any tips or advice when you're editing with Polarr Next. We know that Polarr Next is a completely different workflow than what you may be used to. I used to use Lightroom since 2014, and I used that for about 10 years or so until I finally switched over to Polarr Next. And it wasn't an easy transition, but it also was different because you're not just, you know, doing your normal batch syncing and copying, pasting settings and stuff like that. You're marking references, you're training the AI, you're also now culling within the program, whereas before I had Lightroom, I had an AI culling app, I had an AI editing app. So I had so many different programs and my workflow was so segmented and broken, where Polarr Next just brings everything together. So for those who need that help to be able to get that jump start into the Polarr Next workflow, these are what these workshops are for. And if that's not enough, then we also have tutorials in the app in which I will show you, as well as this YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel and you found your way maybe through an email link or a Facebook post or Instagram post, then definitely hit that subscribe button on this YouTube channel so you can stay updated with our latest videos, guides, feature updates, all that good stuff. And then we're also, of course, on Instagram and TikTok. Make sure you're following over there with little bite-sized content, little video stuff. And then we also have a Facebook group in which if you have any support questions or anything going wrong with Polarr Next or your experience, then you can definitely jump in there and post, and Jonathan and I will definitely make sure that you're taken care of and your problem is solved. So let me grab a little swig of water here. We are off and running in 2025, and I'm so excited. 2024, we came a long way getting Polarr Next into a place where it's very, very usable, especially for professionals. I'm a full-time wedding photographer here on the island of Maui, and I've been using Polarr Next all last year. Actually, I stopped using Lightroom in 2023 in November, stopped exporting client work, and I've used Polarr Next all the way through last year, all the ups and downs, and it's really at a strong place right now. It's powerful. It can handle all the healing that I need, the masking, the color calibrations, the tone curves, the color grading, everything that I need. With editing, Polarr Next is able to handle that so well, keeping things very organized. Culling helps me cut down on culling down so much. In fact, I'm like talking to you guys without showing you. Let me just bring us over to this screen here, and we've got, let me close this little Zoom notification. Okay, there we go. Make my bar go away. Okay, great. Let's zoom in as well. I think we can set this. Oh, it is at 200. All right, cool. So again, having Polarr Next in here to be able to organize and cull and edit tutorials, everything in here, Polarr Next is very, very powerful. I don't think anyone coming in here can feel lost. We literally have a support section if you need to learn how to do certain things, add, you know, your Lightroom presets, or learn how to export in Photoshop file form. Like, we got so many different tutorials and guides for you that you cannot get lost here. Also, let me hold on a sec. I accidentally minimized something. There we go. Want to make sure that I'm not missing any messages from Jonathan or anything like that. So Polarr Next, very, very powerful. Been using it since last year, delivering all of my client work. And this year, we are just continuing forward with all of the new features. AI is such a big thing right now. It's been a huge thing the last couple of years, but really, you know, mass adoption across the whole, spectrum, with people using AI in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Grok, whatever platform, ChatGPT, OpenAI, with Polarr Next, we are certainly adding in some bits of AI here and there. And so one of those awesome features that we just added, it's been live for about a week or so in Polarr Next open beta. You have the ability to go in there. You don't have to be subscribed to Polarr Next. You don't need to be paying for the app. You can literally just sign in with your Gmail account, and then you'll have access to the feature. It is called AI Color Match. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to create a project. And the project that I'm bringing in, just going to be a bunch of test images. All right. And we're just going to go straight to the manual editing because this is just for show. I want to show you guys AI Color Match again. And where this feature is currently, it is such a strong feature. I've got a bunch of images here, and actually I'm going to show you here at the bottom left, like right. Oh, let me move my face real quick. Can I do that? Let me see here. Let's see. Let me move my face. We're going to move it up. There we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, so right underneath me, you can see that there's this file sorting option down here. And it's got this icon where it says raw. If you click it, it'll show you all your photos and the different file formats that your photos are. So in this little project, this little folder, that I have one Canon file here, the CR3. I've got one ARW, or actually I got 12 Sony files here. You can unclick them, you can click them, bring them in. This is an NEF, so we got a Nikon file, and then we've got some JPEGs. So really, really cool about Polarr Next is that it doesn't just edit RAWs, it also edits JPEGs as well. So if you're looking for that like color cohesion and everything like that, then being able to edit with Polarr Next being able to edit RAWs and JPEGs at the same time, making everything cohesive, looking the same, that is a huge plus. So we can go in here, we can look through all that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up the AI Color Match panel right here. And when you open it up for the first time, it'll be completely empty. And it'll ask you for a source image. Of course, you can drag and drop with the file. There you go. Let's go into my folder here. And I've got a bunch of these AI Color Match examples. So what I'm going to do is, since I want to bring them all in, I can just click on the first bookmark, the first image, hold shift, and then click the rest. And now I've selected them all. Maybe not bring this one in. That was a little test one, that one too. Let me make sure I'm bringing in all the ones I want. All right, and then we just hit open. And then Polarr Next down here says it's bringing in AI Color Match, and it's going to start populating all right in this little window here. There we go. So we got 20 different photos to choose from, and these are JPEGs. They can be PNGs, they can be WebPs, different file formats of images here. So it doesn't have to be a JPEG, doesn't have to be actually not a RAW. We're really looking for those finished images, those looks that you're inspired by. I found that as a professional photographer, more than likely you've already created your look, right? I've been shooting weddings since 2014. By this time, I've already created my kind of staple look. There's a reason why people hire me, because they want me not just as the photographer, but they can also imagine their wedding photos in this style as they look through like my Instagram or my website. So me as a professional photographer, I've already kind of settled with a kind of style and look. I'm not really, you know what I mean? I can't remember the last time I actually bought presets. Probably was, I want to say 2016, 2017. I was actually lucky enough back in the day to have bought the original Visco preset packs. I think they're legendary. They definitely kicked off the whole preset arms race. Visco definitely set the standard as far as like film emulation and colors and everything like that. So yeah, I bought a couple Visco back in the day, and then I think I might have like downloaded some free ones here and there just because they were free, and they were okay, but I always found myself going back to Visco. Actually, in 2021, I actually did buy some more presets from Maston Labs. And so Maston Labs is also like another company up there with Visco as far as like having really good accurate film emulation packs, and like Kodak and Agfa and Fujifilm and things like that. So I did buy some, and the reason why I bought them was because I had switched over to Capture One. I used Capture One for over a year, tried it out to see if it was better for me than Lightroom, just because Lightroom was like really slow and laggy at the time. So I tried Capture One, bought the Maston Labs. They were really, really expensive, man. They were, I'm not gonna lie, Jonathan, these Maston Labs presets, I think they were about like 200 bucks. And I bought, it was two packs. And then they had like, you know, different, it wasn't just two presets. It was 2 packs of presets, but it was about 200 bucks. Like, these are high quality, you know, type of presets. But anyways, you know, as a professional photographer, you know, you're working with different presets. You're trying to find your style. What ends up happening is you end up creating your own style, then you make that into your own preset, and then you can export it, and now you can like market it your own, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, these files like this one, this was an image that I delivered to my client here. This is another image from that, no, it's a different wedding. Another image that I delivered to a client. So like these looks here, these are not from, you know, just a straight up like preset. These are my own edits here, my style. Let's see, this one right here, that was mine. This one here, and this one. So like I have my own presets, my own styles that I work through. And honestly, as a professional, like using AI color match, I don't really spend time going through Pinterest or going through Visco or going through Maston, going through people's Instagrams, trying to like match people's styles, because I've already arrived at that place where I have my own style. And what interests me the most about AI color match is that I now have the ability to go in and to be like, oh, I loved this shot here. I love this look. I shot this, you know, last year during sunset, of course, on Maui. And this sunset had a bit of clouds. It's darker, moodier. It's got some warm tint to it. So if I'm editing an image that's a little bit darker, a little bit more moody, maybe something like this, and I really want to bring in like those warm tones, what I can do, instead of just going through all these presets, and yeah, it is nice to kind of like roll over it and kind of see it displayed like that. This is just adding a preset onto the file. Let me remove these onto the photo. Sorry, not file. So you're just kind of rolling over, you're kind of looking, you can kind of see. But what AI color match does is it doesn't just apply a preset on top of the image. The AI color match feature actually like analyzes the image and then applies it and adjusts it so that it'll work really well with it. And we find that the algorithm of the AI color match to be a little bit better than just static preset. So let's go find that warm image here. Here it is, number 20. And you can see here, I have the ability to apply it. So this right here, this is an ARW. This is a JPEG in here. I got loaded. We're going to go ahead and apply it to the current image. Now it's processing, and there we go. So now we've got this darker, moody kind of look. And so right out the gate, if you feel like maybe this is just a little bit too strong, then the strength slider is now active once we've applied AI color match to the image. So now we can just go to the strength slider and we can slide this thing back and maybe dial in the look to what we want. So this is 100. You can definitely go past 100. I've never really had a use case where I've wanted to go past 100. I find it to be pretty strong. So we're at 100. Let's go ahead and dial this back a little bit. And maybe 70, 80 is good. I like that. 80 is looking good. And so look at that. Just with just a couple clicks, we got like a fully edited image. Not only that, but you can see here AI color match has also output all the parameters here. So exposure, highlights, shadows, warmth, the tint, everything was touched here. Vibrance. We can go to the curves and we can see our curves here. Red, green, blue, everything was adjusted and touched. The HSL, let's see, saturation, all it had to do was move saturation. Color grading, let's see if anything was changed here. We do have a little change on the highlight color grade there. And then I always like to check down at the calibration. Calibration wasn't touched. So there we go. And then of course we can just hold this button here, the before and after. There's before and there's after. Before and after. And then what's great about this is that we have the ability now to dial in a look there. Make that really nice. So AI color match, really, really awesome feature. What we're also going to do is maybe later on during this stream, I'll edit another wedding using AI color match again. Rather than using like your standard preset, I think AI color match is just a really cool way, a really cool flow to editing your weddings, you know, for like, again, over 10 years worth of editing in Lightroom and then now editing the slasher and Polarr Next, still going by way of, you know, presets. Using AI color match is a completely new different flow. And I love that it's like baked into the app itself. You know, I'm not opening up other programs. I'm not trying to create presets in Lightroom and then bring it into Polarr Next. Everything is happening within the same program. So, all right, let's talk about one other feature that we snuck in last week with AI color match, and you may or may not have seen it. Let me actually bring in a different folder of all these test images here, and that'll give you a much better look at what I'm talking about. So we're going to reset this project and we're going to bring it into editing manual mode again. Okay, so for those of you who have been using Polarr Next like me for the last year, I started using Polarr Next when, you know, they weren't recognizing Nikon files and I had to convert all the NEFs to DNG. I went through hoops to use Polarr Next because I wanted that AI powerful ability to edit quickly and cohesively. So, you know, through the year last year, we had enhancements to the masking, brushing, healing. So one of the features that was kind of a standard and something that people kind of missed was chromatic aberration. And we know chromatic aberration to be tucked in the lens correction tab. So if you open up Polarr Next today and scroll all the way down, open up the lens correction tab, and you'll see that was a time having to convert DNGs. Don't remind me of that. Don't remind me of that. So down here on the right, you can see the lens correction tab. And in this particular photo, the Polarr Next wasn't able to identify the exact lens, which is okay. You can see here, I've got all these grayed out markers for lens distortion and stuff like that. And I can't really adjust these right now. But there's a correct lens chromatic aberration. So Polarr Next has the ability to, when you have those images that does recognize, let me see if it'll recognize a lens here with these images. Let me see. These Sonys. How about this Canon image? No? Okay. All right, let's try one more time because I really would love to demonstrate this. Polarr Next being able to automatically correct the aberration. We're adding in new lenses every now and then so that Polarr Next is able to recognize and apply all the lens correction profiles and chromatic aberration corrections and stuff. Let me go down here. I'm going to scroll down, lens correction. Okay. Any data? No. Let me try another project that I have. We're going to open up this one. Reset. Go manual. Okay. This one gives me lots of images to look through. So let's see. All right, lens correction. Okay. These files, nothing. Let me scoot on down. Okay. All right. No lens correction data available with these images here. This testing. Okay, so I'll just have to show you another time. Okay. All right, that's all right. We're going to go back here into the lens correction, chromatic aberration. So normally, when you've got chromatic aberration, your editing program will have the ability to automatically detect the lens and then correct that lens distortion and vignetting, as well as chromatic aberration. So if it's grayed out like this and it's showing you a little canceled out icon, that means you can't click these, which is totally okay. So if you kind of scroll down, you'll see here, defringe. All right. So now this is something that you can manipulate manually on your own. So we got a really good example here. We got the photographer shooting up, trying to, nail this little branch here. But when you're shooting wide open with your lenses, this photographer was shooting with a 1.8 or aperture with the 50 millimeter, shooting wide open at 1.8. So as you zoom in here, you can start to really see that chromatic aberration here. And the chromatic aberration, if you were to give it a definition, it's basically a color distortion that creates an outline of unwanted color along the edges of objects. It appears different surfaces where there's high contrast between light and dark subjects. So here you go. Perfect example right here. We've got the really bright sky and then this contrast between the really bright sky and then the really dark blacks or the darker tones. So it's giving us this purple fringing, right? And so when I zoom out, that's, you don't really notice it, but when you're when you're a professional photographer and you're going to edit, your client's wedding photos and, pretend like this is a bouquet shot or a ring shot or something like that, you really do need to go in there and address it because, the last time I checked, there's no purple color on my ring. There's no, even, there's also green. There can be the green to fringe here. So, purple, green, all that. So this is a really good example to be able to demonstrate our defringe tool. So let's go ahead and let's maybe start with the green, because you don't want to just go in here and then open up HSL and be like, oh, I see some green defringe, and then just go to your saturation and just get rid of green altogether. You can see that the green defringe here is gone. If I boost it up, you can really see that color coming through. But if I completely desaturate it, it's pretty much gone. Maybe work on the aqua, maybe the blue, really get it out. But now I've adjusted the leaf color and that green is gone. See that? I just desaturated the green. So what we can do is we can go into our lens correction, go to defringe, and now let's zoom in here. And now we can just click here. There's a little green slider and I can just click it and then slide it down, and you can see the green defringe going away. That's at 20, there's 0, 20. So let's go up to this leaf and now let's move this green defringe. And you can see here that this green defringe tool is not affecting the green leaf, just like what I showed you, right? If you go into HSL, click that saturation, desaturate the green, you can see the leaves are greatly affected. That's not what you want to do. We have this awesome chromatic aberration defringe tool where I've completely gotten rid of that green. And you can see here the leaf is completely untouched. Really, really awesome. Now, you can also get in there and really dial it in using the hue slider here. And you can really like play around with it, slide it around, zero in on that. And let's see what happens as we slide that around. You can see that it does affect parts of the image when you mess with this hue slider. And my advice would be really finding that spot where it doesn't mess with the leaf, but it does get rid of the defringe. So we can put that there, and then maybe we can bring this. Again, what I like to do when I'm like experimenting or trying things out, editing, I like to move things to the extreme so I can see exactly where things are being moved and touched. So you can do that, and you can see nothing's happening there. So let's move that back this way. Maybe open that up a little bit. Move this there. There we go. There we go. So we're at a place now where this defringe tool is really getting rid of this. There we go. We've gotten rid of the green defringing. So if I hold the before and after, the only thing that I see going away, if I hold before, you can see the green. After, it's gone. Awesome. Let's go ahead and work on this purple. Same thing. We can just take this purple slider and then now just slide it until it all goes away. And we don't really have any other type of purple stuff in this image. It's really just the branch defringe. So we can go to another image and we can work on the purple and see how it affects the defringing versus any other elements in the image. But look how well it did getting rid of all that purple fringing. Get rid of that. And you don't have to completely get rid of it, because what it really is doing, it does kind of desaturate. And because like this was part of the image, when you desaturate, you can see like the branch kind of shrinks. So it kind of gets rid of it. And you want to find that like sweet spot where like you can see here, this was part of a branch. It's brown, right? This is like a brown color. If I completely get rid of it, it kind of gets rid of it and it shrinks the branch. And it leaves you kind of like with this edge here that doesn't look good. So if you want it to look more natural, don't do it all the way. Just get rid of it to a point where you're fine with it, comfortable with it. Move around the hue slider. There we go. Now we've gotten rid of both the purple and the green defringing. We can hold that before, after, before, after. That is much better looking than the other. All right, so let's move to another image here. All right, this looks like it's got some red and purple. I want to find something that's really got some color. Okay, this could be a good one. Let's go in here. Oh, that's some pink. Okay. See some green defringe. Let me see if I find any purple. Okay, we got some purple fringe here. Okay. So same thing. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's start with the purple actually. And we're going to kind of start over here. So we're going to take that purple and we're going to slide it. So now you can really see this defringe tool really affecting a lot of this image. And it's affecting a lot of these flowers at the edges. So what we're going to do, what we could do is when you focus on the defringe, get rid of it, get it to a place where you feel like it's gone. Now work the hue slider. Maybe bring back those petals. And what I'm looking at right here is I see fringe, a lot of fringe here. Let's slide it back. You can see the fringe there. Let's get rid of that. There we go. And then let's move the hue slider. Let's bring back those edges on the flowers. And then you can still see that the fringe is gone here. And that is a lot more usable than prior. And you can see even still up here at the edges, if I hold that before and after, it kind of shrinks down the flowers, but it's not as bad as where it was. What I mean is like this. This is really bad where you get these massive edges here where it's all desaturated and the colors look all funky. Get it to where it works for you, where it's usable while still getting rid of that fringe or that fringe on what you're targeting there. So there you go. Before, after, flowers aren't greatly affected, and then we've gotten rid of that purple fringing. All right, and then next we're gonna go over here, and then we're gonna work on this green fringe. So we can click on this, and we're gonna use this fringe slide, and then we're just gonna slide it all the way down, and you can see that it is getting rid of the green, but this object here has a lot more than green going on. It's got some like teal, turquoise kind of stuff going on, and maybe you can see here down this green fringe down there. Maybe you can target that. Okay, it's gotten rid of that. There we go. And then again, you can just kind of adjust and see that as I increase the hue range, now it's completely gotten rid of that. But again, we want to make sure that it's not really affecting much of the leaves and stuff like that. And you can see here that as we move this amount, that it's not really affecting the greens, which is a good thing. It's only getting rid of that green fringe going on. Awesome. What do you guys think so far? Really powerful tool. I know we're spending like a lot of time checking this out, but I'm really diving deep on this chromatic aberration tool just because it is a big feature, you know, especially for having a professional editing program that Polarr Next is aiming to be. For photographers, chromatic aberration is a standard feature that photographers need to use for situations like this, especially if like you're doing macro photography where you're really focusing on those tiny details, ring shots, flower shots at weddings and stuff like that, to be able to have a tool that can manipulate and get rid of all those fringing where you don't have to go to the HSL slider and, you know, completely desaturate, you know, the purple and the pinks and the reds and the greens to get rid of the fringing, and then now you're left with this weird mess, you know, weird looking mess. Don't have to touch any of those HSL sliders. You can just go to the lens correction tab and work on the fringe. Let's do maybe one more, because we did two like flower examples. I kind of want to do one with like more. Yeah, this looks good. I love this shot here. We've got photo from Japan, I'm assuming. And I don't know how you can see it on the stream if it looks really sharp to you, but to me, I can really see this extreme fringe going on with the chrome here on this Toyota Deluxe Crown Comfort car. Really cool car. I like it. I've never been to Japan. Definitely on my bucket list. Jonathan, have you ever been to Japan? Is it worth going to? Let's see here. Sorry guys, let me make sure I clear all these things out. All right. Yeah, you went last year. It was totally worth it. How long were you out in Japan for? Sorry. I need to text my daughter's piano teacher. Okay, cool. A lot of cool photo spots. I bet. I would love to go to Japan. Definitely on my list. Okay. Let's get right back to it. Hold on a second. Okay. Weird. I just had this like booty, not booty call, freaking butt dial. I got butt dialed by a random, like one of my old clients. I got butt dialed by this business, old client, and they were trying to FaceTime me. I'm like, what the heck? Why are they trying to FaceTime me? That's so weird. And then I didn't realize that, like, with FaceTime, Jonathan, if someone doesn't pick up, you can leave a message, but not just like a regular old voice message. You can leave a video message for them. Did you know that with FaceTime? Pretty cool. You went for 3 weeks. That seems like the minimum for traveling and like experiencing another country, huh? All right, let's get in here and let's work on this fringing here with the purple video message. Yeah. Okay, so this one should be pretty easy to be able to just take this purple defringe slider and just slide it down all the way until it goes away. And kind of like how I said before, you know, the purple unfortunately is part of the image, so that like when you desaturate it, it really does affect it, and you're kind of like getting rid of that detail and that contrast. So you have to really look and find that middle ground, because when I get in here really close, you can see the outline of where it was desaturated, right? If I bring that up, you can see that contrast and everything is there, but it's purple. We want to get rid of that. So you don't have to go all the way to the extreme and fully get rid of it. You can bring it back a little bit. You know, it's still got some contrast. It's still there. But it's not now showing this really, you know, strong purple color like that. Kind of finding that middle ground with the contrast there. And again, you can adjust the range on this defringe hue slider. And you can see here that as I expand it, the blue is getting affected. So definitely don't want that. And now I can just really dial this in on exactly what I want. Making sure the blue doesn't get affected. There we go. That's looking great. And as we zoom out, you can hold that before, after. That looks really good. Any other defringing going on here? We got actually a lot. We got some green here as well. Same thing. Gonna demonstrate, you know, we got this green fringe. You want to get rid of it, use the HSL slider, totally desaturate the greens, but then look, this license plate is completely desaturated. I'm a type of photographer where I love to try and keep the green tones intact as much as I can. I mean, I live in Hawaii. We got beautiful florals and greenery and beautiful bouquets. Definitely don't want to do that, getting rid of the fringe. So we're going to go down to lens correction, use that slider, and just slide it up. And you can see that fringe going away. So good. There we go. And then also here in the side mirror, just get rid of it. Find that sweet spot, like right there. There we go. And let me see. So when we are adjusting this, the license plate is getting touched. So what we're gonna do is we can get that to where we want it on the defringe, and then we can slide over to the license plate, and you can see all these little sections where it's desaturated. And just like how we did before with the flower petals, you can move around the hue slider, expand it, contract it, move it. Seems like it gets rid of those spots like right there. We've got the license plate back. Let's go ahead and move back to the green fringing. So this one here is a little tricky. This one's going to take some elbow grease to be able to balance getting rid of the green defringe as well as making sure the license plate doesn't look funky. So what we could do is this. Let's slide that back. And what we can do is zoom in on here, and now we can use this eyedropper tool, and we can really pick out that tone that we're looking to get rid of. And as we click it, the defringe tool gets rid of it on its own. It manipulates the sliders on its own to get rid of it. And let's go back to this license plate. Okay, not as egregious as before. That's a lot more workable there. There we go. I want to see something real quick. I wanted to see if we had defringe within a mask. That would be kind of cool, actually. That would actually be really, really cool. I wonder if that's possible to be able to add, like how we added point color in the mask. I wonder if we can add defringe, because what we could do maybe is get in here. If this license plate is really important for you, let's like brush in. Oh, I have the flow and everything down. Let's use auto mask. Just don't want to go into the edges. Turn the auto mask off again. Let's just paint this in real quick. All right. Go down here, paint that in. So now you guys can probably guess what I'm trying to do here. Do that. There we go. All right. And then within this mask, we can just use our point color dropper tool. Drop it in to that green and then boost up the saturation within that mask and get it right back to where it was. There we go. Now we've gotten rid of that green to fringe. We've given back this license plate its punchy green color, and all is well with the world. Now I'm just noticing up here as well, this green. Let's get rid of it. One more time. Clicked on it. Automatically, the fringe got rid of it. You can see it's also gone here. Let's go back to our license plate. And we can get in here and we can again affect the color. And maybe drop one more eyedropper on this one. This one's really punchy. There we go. We've smoothed out the green. Nice. There we go. All right. That is looking good. Chromatic aberration tool. A massive, massive W for Polarr Next. Really, really enjoying it. Love the ability to be able to affect just that fringe that we're trying to work on without affecting the rest of the image. And again, just a very welcome professional photographer editing tool that is only making Polarr Next much more stronger and capable to handle all the photos and things that you're gonna throw its way. Let's go in here again. Just when you touch on that fringe, getting rid of that rather than touching on the skin tone or any of the reds or the purples in the clothing on the subject. Any others? It's kind of like a purple jacket there. This one's interesting. It's got some like type of blue fringe. Very rare. There we go. Click on that fringe. Got rid of that blue. There we go. And you can see now the blue is being affected on the lady's jeans. And you can use this hue slider. Bring those jeans back. Let's go back to the totem pole. So we brought back the jeans. And now we can increase the effect of that fringe. We got the jeans back while getting rid of that blue fringe. The lady's jacket is quite affected there. Maybe bring it there. Let's go back. So it's all a balancing act. It's finding that balance in the image, making sure not to get rid of all the key colors in your subjects and stuff like that. So looks like an awesome hike here. Cool little totem pole. All right. Awesome. Well, that was the chromatic aberration tool with Polarr Next. Sorry about that yawn action there. Anyone in chat who's got any questions about anything, would like to see something, would like to try something out, like to, see me edit or do something in real time, please let me know. We got about 10 minutes left here during our live stream, and I did want to kind of play around and bring us through just another album and just bringing in all of these different features as we edit weddings and engagement sessions. If we go into advanced setup. Okay. My bad. I took the wrong route. Let's close this tab. Let's reopen Polarr Next, and then let's go and get rid of these projects. Oopsies. I didn't mean to click in it. Let's get rid of that one, and let's get rid of this one. And then we're gonna reset this one, and we're gonna do some editing in the advanced setup. Create new style, advanced setup. And now let's kind of bring in all of these different things. So we're gonna go in here. We'll find our style with AI color match. This is like a very blue sky, got greens, very earth tone. So maybe we'll work with maybe this look here. This one's got some blue skies, earth tones. Apply that AI color match, and then once I've applied it, the AI is actually going to apply color match to all the images here you can see. So I don't need to go one by one doing everything, adjusting everything. And this is really punchy. This has a really punched look. Punched look, not punched look. And maybe I can slide this back. Again, past 100, it's pretty strong. But I always find myself with AI color match kind of sliding it back and wanting to go to like the 50 range or the 60 range. That's looking good. And as we look at that, as we adjust the slider strength, it's not just doing it on the one image, it's keeping everything cohesive in the same style and look. And man, I barely have to do much here in this shot. Like, this looks really good. And just because we got that chromatic aberration tool, we can go in here, we can zoom in. The thing about chromatic aberration is that it really depends on your lens quality. There's a reason why you can buy a Canon 50mm 1.8 lens for like $150 to $200. Really great lens, for great focal length, great wide open aperture, but you're probably not going to get all the high quality build as far as the lens elements, the lens coatings, everything that goes into those premium products that Canon sells, those 51.2s or the 51.4s. Nikon has a 51.2, a 51.4. And when you buy those more expensive lenses, they come with higher quality coatings. A neo coat, I believe Nikon uses like 3 different coatings to combat ghosting, flares, chromatic aberration. So if you are using cheaper lenses, then you're going to experience that. This is the Sony E 28 to 75mm 2.8 lens. So this is a pretty high quality lens from Sony, and you're not going to see a ton of chromatic aberration. If this was shot with a 50mm, just $200 lens, you'd probably be seeing a lot of chromatic aberration here at the edges. And you can almost kind of see it as well. along the edge. It is kind of bluish, but it's not bad. Even here in the branches, it is kind of blue. And if we go here, looking at the collar, there is this like kind of blue quality, but like even here, you can kind of see if this was shot with a cheaper lens, it would have a lot of chromatic aberration, but it doesn't. These are higher quality lenses, and when you're zoomed out, it looks really great. Again, if you wanted to get in here and maybe nitpick, and let's maybe use the dropper tool on this and maybe drop it right there on that blue. Polarr Next will go ahead and get in there on the fringe. Got rid of all that. Let's see if it affected the clouds anything. Nope, not that bad. All right, so we've got now the fringe going on. It has affected even the branches here. So we can mark this as a reference. We'll go to the next image here. This looks really great. At 60, I love it. Maybe let's straighten out the crop there. That looks good. Mark that as a reference. This looks really, I mean, we hardly touched anything. Polarr Next did everything for us with AI color match. You can bring up those shadows a bit. You know, on the highlights there, that's looking great. This one, we've got a really darker, different type of lighting situation here. It's sunset. Maybe I want to warm it up a little bit, not have it be so cold. There we go. Sun has set behind the mountain, so we don't get those really nice blue skies. As you can see how the photo is raw. There we go. That's looking good. Go here. Even nighttime with flash. I mean, there's the before, there's the after. It's the AI has gone ahead and just analyzed all the images and applied all the adjustments intelligently across the whole thing. This is looking awesome. I'm actually really impressed with how good AI color match works. There we go. Just crop that in a little bit there. Give it some of the leaves on the side there. All right, this is all the way at the beginning of the day, getting ready. So let's kind of cool it down a little bit. It's looking good. Mark that as a reference. This is looking great. Mark that. What we can do, since we cooled this down, we can copy all the adjustments here, paste it here. I just really want to make sure that I have the same warmth in the color temperature. Mark that. Here we go. This is looking awesome. Again, we can get in here and look and see that, like, yeah, this lens is really nice. There's hardly any chromatic aberration going on. There's a little bit going on here at the edges, but it's kind of yellow. It's not like that green that we're kind of used to, what I was showing you earlier. Again, if you really want to nitpick at it, use that dropper tool, get in there, touch on that yellowish green. AI goes in there with the fringe tool, gets rid of it. Nice. Awesome. All right. What I'm really interested in is, will the Polarr Next AI also apply the fringe tool to all of these similar images? And then we'll finish up with this. They're really strongly backlit here by the sun. So what we can do is we can up the shadows, but then that might look kind of unnatural because you're upping the shadows in everything. You could always just create a subject mask by pressing the S button. Look how well that mask gets brushed in there. So good. Up the shadows there on the subject. Bring the exposure down a little bit. Contrast down. Make it look a little bit more natural. There we go. Looks good. This is, wow, what a beautiful shot. There we go. Mark that as a reference. And lastly, this one here. Nice. Looking good. The AI color match did an amazing job. And then this image, this was a sample image I don't need to do. So, oh, there's one image. Oh, we need to mark this one. Okay, let's go ahead and finish up the AI style, and we'll hit continue and watch the AI go to work, editing all of these images. And again, what we're looking for is we want to see the ones that we did color fringe correction on. And I want to see if Polarr Next adjusted the fringing on the other images. And so what we're going to do is we're going to click on this one. We'll go to it, unclick the references, and let's jump into these here. And I want to see, did the AI also apply the fringe tool? It looks like it. Let's scroll down, and yes, of course it did. Look at that. All on this whole section here, fringe, defringe was applied. I don't have to hold shift, batch sync, nothing. Polarr Next AI has gone in and defringed this whole sequence here. Look at that. This entire sequence. Polarr Next defringed it all. If we go to the image outside of this section, the sequence, look at all the way to these images. Let's go to a completely different one. Wow. So Polarr Next actually identified even some fringe here, got rid of it, and then we go here, and then now it's not applied. So wow, Polarr Next did a really good job applying defringe to a lot of the similar images. That's actually really impressive. Let's go to this one here, and then we'll look at the same thing. So we'll look at this same similar sequence. We'll zoom in, and yes, you can see we did the eyedropper tool on this one, all with the defringe, and Polarr Next has gone in and did the same defringe on this whole sequence. And then if we go out of the sequence to something else, look at that. Polarr Next has identified it and gotten rid of it. Let's go to this one. It's not here. So that is awesome. I love that. One other thing, let's go over here. This one, this is the one that we applied the subject mask to really brighten up the bride and groom, because they're extremely backlit. And you can see Polarr Next has also applied this mask to it in this entire sequence. Looks awesome. So this entire album was edited off of 15 different references, and it's editing, processing the entire album here, 3,000 plus. So we can go in here, you can see that it is quite strong, the look. So what we can do is we can go back and find that source image that we color matched with, hit apply current image. Now we can dial in, and then dial in the photo on the exposure, get it to where we want it. All right. All right, there we go. And we can see here, this is where it was, this is where it is. And now we can press M. As Polarr Next is processing all 3,000 images, we just hit the M key or hit this mark as reference toggle. Polarr Next is going to go ahead and edit all the rest of these images in real time on top of everything else it was doing. And it's just going to bring everything into a cohesive look. That is powerful. Well, thank you everyone so much for hanging out with me today. Wednesday, February 19th. I can't believe we're getting close to the end of February already. This is a great reminder. 2025 has just started. If you're looking to shake up, improve, and to make your editing workflow more efficient, I highly encourage you to check out Polarr Next. There's no risk to trying this program out. When you sign up using your Gmail account, we'll give you $100 worth of export credits, 2,000 export credits to be exact. Each credit equals 1 export. We're going to give that to you. It will expire within 30 days. So you have about 30 days to try it out. Use all those export credits up. If you run out of those export credits and you don't subscribe, guess what? You can still use Polarr Next to cull, to edit. You just won't be able to export any of the photos until you check out the different subscriptions that we've got going on that are actually really, really well, reasonably priced. $20 is our cheapest per month. If you do the annual subscription, think about that. $20 a month. That's like $10 for editing program, $10 for a culling program, and you've got built-in AI intelligence helping you edit. That is a win-win in my book. You can also buy as you go. So you can pay as you go, buy as many export credits as you need. If you're like a hobby photographer, street photographer, you like to use Polarr Next because it's lightweight, easy to get those cohesive looks, especially using the AI color match feature. Just buy $10 worth of export credits, use it for the month, fill up more if you need later on in the future. So definitely check it out. 2025 off to a hot start. We're going to be coming to you live every single month towards the end of the month. So like the last, the third week of the month, I believe. So March, we'll be looking at that, and then April, May. So definitely stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get all the latest updates. Jonathan, thank you so much for being with us here today to answer any questions and direct anyone in chat to any of the links and things that people might need. But I appreciate every single person that's here wanting to hang out and check out this awesome new feature, chromatic aberration and Polarr Next AI color match. Appreciate you all. I'll catch you all on the next one. See you all in March. Aloha.